Sturgians are all standing here like statues for some reason. What was that? That was like a ghost army. I caught a glimpse of something over here and then it vanished. It looked like Khazate, and I swear I saw a huge army here, but now it's gone. So well, we're hoping for a defense in here, and here we are. They're just hiding in the brush here. This massive Khazate force, 2,800 strong. Fuck. Whoa, look at the fucking strength of this army. Look at the units underhand here. 450 Dark Hands, 217 Marksmen, 208 Khans Guards. So, besieging Takor Castle. Even if no other forces come, this should qualify here as a potential episode of Epic Siege. We've got a pretty strong army here, but I've divided our forces here to a couple of different locations, hoping for more attacks from the enemy. So we'll recruit a bunch of these prisoners. And with that said, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially battlefield command and advanced tactics. And there looks like there's more potentially coming. Indeed, that's the king. The queen is here. I see Asha with her huge army. So we indeed have a likely epic siege on our hands here. The Khazate have been a major thorn in my side in the campaign. This Targai and Bagai, these guys with the fucking scary face paint. They have huge numbers. Of course, they have the Khans Guards and other nasty horse archers, and because of such, they do pretty darn well at keep defense and keep assault. So we're going to recruit every prisoner here, seeing as this is likely going to be at least over 4,000 Khazate troops here. I'm actually getting deserters here, but that's okay. This castle has a really interesting left side of it that might serve as sort of a retreat area, an area we can have an inner defense. If the main defenses start to break down, we may try to defend this secondary phase of this castle. This is something I've been looking more and more at as you consider sort of castles as in the way they were made in medieval days, where you would have a secondary defense. And what the fuck is this? Wow, this is cool. There's like a huge cliff face on this castle here. It looks like it's built right on the edge of a huge sheer cliff. So our backs are literally against the wall here. They got ladders over here on the right side. And this is what I was talking about. I wandered around this a little bit ago, and there's ladders over here. This area over here looks highly defensible. Different platforms to put troops. Let's see what our infantry looks like here. I'm probably going to move some units around because I want a bit of an autonomous right side. When I say an autonomous side to a keep defense, what I'm referring to is basically a component of the keep that I don't have to micromanage as much, right? I can kind of go back and forth and keep an eye on it, but they handle themselves on their own. So we're going to use, let's see, we'll use the 1st Division, and we'll give them, I think we'll give them the Skirmisher Division, the 6th Corps. Those guys there block 2 different entryways, and they will decrease how many enemies pour up the ladders and come through the gatehouse. And if we give them, let's see, the skirmisher division with javelin throwers and archers, those guys can also help repel guys attacking the main gate. So that's another dual purpose unit. I've been focusing more and more on dual purpose units as we're facing this onslaught of enemy forces here. And then we can... I'd like to give them an archer corps here with an angle to shoot, but I'm not sure if these guys are going to be beneficial there. Anyway, so here's the left side that I'm really interested in. If we have a sort of Alamo phase of this keep defense, this is where I'm going to try to make it. See this deep bowl here, it's 3 or 4 different platforms of varying heights. Extremely well built by the Tail World game developer, map developer. I can put archers down here in the lower area and they'll be able to pelt the enemy as they come over the walls there. What is this? The 8th Division. There's a bunch of infantry in there, even though it's supposed to be archers. I'm not really sure what I want to do with these guys yet. But we're going to stick, of course, an infantry division at the main gate. We'll put them in shield wall and then have the 6th Corps be able to pound them from the flank. You see how the 6th can attack there. Then over here, we've got 3 different platforms of raised elevation to play with. I like this top one. There's multiple potential angles that can be shot also from up here. I think, yeah, this rooftop can actually be used as well, so I can stretch units out here. But that'll probably be a later phase because they're not going to be able to help in the early phase. They're not going to be able to shoot over this wall here. Down here, I've got the 2nd Division in a big, long shield wall line there. That's infantry with javelins. We can give them an archer division. I'm not really sure exactly where to place all my divisions in this battle. I've got this 4th archer division here. They're falling all over the place. But I don't like the line of sight here. Those guys can't shoot much. I think I might do a little bit of freestyle tactics once the battle starts. Sort of sending units to wherever the greatest crisis, greatest threat is at the moment. This might be one of the most fluid siege defenses I make. Just because the layout is so dynamic. And the enemy is going to be coming to 2 or 3 different locations that are vulnerable, and I can't help all at once, if that makes sense. So we'll probably be moving troops around quite a bit more than we normally do. And of course, here on Tactical Enlightenment, we use all 8 divisions, and we use them readily. Some people probably think I micromanage too much. That's fine. I think their haircut is stupid. That's what all of us bald guys say to you kids with fucking amazing hair. We think your hair is stupid, right? And that's basically, we are jealous. All right, so we're going to set up our archers up here. These guys have a nice line of sight, and they're fairly well protected from enemy archers. Can I just jump right through here? Sweet. That's fucking lovely. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Enemy forces, fucking thick as flies, of course, and it's a massively and powerful force. Look at this Lord standing here. I'm gonna fucking drop this guy. Look at, he's just standing there, like, talking to his men. All right, men, we're gonna climb these ladders over here. What was that? And then we're gonna make a... Oh, he gets fucking mown down. Pick up my errant javelin throw here. Fire a few more of these, and we've got a beautiful catapult right here. All right, 2nd Division, hold fire. We don't need these guys using their javelins early in the phase of this battle. Let's see if we're going to hit our own walls here. Sometimes they set up the catapults. No, okay, good. Well, this dumb shit. You didn't calibrate the catapult correctly for the Jarl, stupid asshole. All right, we'll get this calibrated here, and we should be able to fucking fire in some explodable rounds here. As I've said before in these episodes, the early phases of Siege, monkeys should be able to do this, right? You basically just throw exploding rounds and catapult the enemy while they're moving up the ram. Is that another Lord there? I swear I see another Lord right at the front of that formation. It's probably hard for you to see, but right there at the angle, I think there's another enemy Lord there. I always try to kill enemy Lords in early phases of battle because a lot of times they're the captain of the division. They're the ones giving their units a bunch of bonuses. And so if you could kill them early on, I miss every single fucking javelin throw sometimes. They also have a huge amount of archer support. If you can kill them early on, you know, you can do major damage to the enemy's capacity to fight war. Don't think I can hit them. Yeah, it goes right over their head. And I'm on the... whatever reason, you can't calibrate this catapult any closer. So we'll fire off a few more rounds here, but I'm also eager to do a little bit of free throw shooting and lob some explosive rounds into the enemy. Yeah, look at that. It goes right over that Lord's head. Of course, every shot is killing like 7 cons guards because this force has such a massive amount of high-end troops. I don't think I've ever seen this many high-end troops. They probably have 1,500 to 2,000 tier 5 and tier 6 units. That is incredible. Now that's likely the result of a mod I have. If you want to check it out, if you want a bigger, harder challenge in Bannerlord, if it's not quite hard enough yet, right? It's already hard, but if you want a harder challenge, yeah, that Lord is still standing there. Fuck you. Man, I want to kill that guy. If you want a harder challenge, check out the Lord Retinue up tier. It's a mod I have. Damn, I hit him for 130. He didn't die. So that's a high level Lord to boot. But the Lord up tier retinue, what it does is it basically gives the enemy Lord much higher level troops through the... Holy shit, they have a lot of archers. Well, I'm going to have to let this fireball go in a hurry. But we killed fucking 30 guys there. A bunch of dark hands get annihilated. Anyways, to finish that point, the Lord retinue up tier, what it basically does is it increases the amount of EXP that the enemy Lords get per every day for their troops. And hence their troops upgrade much, much faster. If you're tired of armies full of peasants, pick up the Lord Retinue up tier mod, and you will face fucking juggernaut armies like this, right? Where their whole army is probably tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5. Every single guy is an elite cataphract, and you know, of course, you don't have to play on this difficulty, but for those seeking sort of hell mode Bannerlord, this will help you. We're going to support our 2nd division here. Our 2nd infantry is on the walls here, throwing javelins. I've got archer support, and we're going to basically try to repel this early wave here before I go check out what's happening at the gate. These guys are being trapped and cornered and shit. Don't worry, the Jarl's got your back. The outlaw Josie Whale, right? He always goes back for a comrade. This is quite an assault by the enemy here. Now I have these explodable rounds from this catapult, but I can't really get to them right now. I'll be interrupted. That's not going to work very well. I'll come back to those at some point. Or if the enemy wave starts to get knocked back here, maybe I can use them now. Yeah, see, these guys are magnetized to me. I'm not going to be able to throw these where I want to. I mean, I can throw them at these guys right here. Catch this, you fuckers. Killed their fucking Lord. My favorite is the face plant when they get hit by those. They just fall flat on their face. All right, let's see what we got going on here. The main gate, they're starting to pound on the inner gate. So I'm going to have to micromanage the 3rd corps over there. I've also got the 8th corps. I'm using memory here. I laid the 8th out next to that 3rd corps there. And if I start seeing death spam at the gate, what I can do is I can charge that 8th corps knowing that those guys will start to help bottle up the gate. Now I want to throw this on these guys. I got support from archers here. There's like 15 Battanian Fiend champs, but I don't see a way to get up here. This is going to be the longest bomb throw of all time. I'm running around like a hen with her egg. I guess a hen doesn't carry her egg. All right, anymore, some non-stop fucking horrendous narration for you here. What I'm trying to do is get to this other side so I can drop this bomb on this huge amount of elite units that are pouring up. And now it's almost all cons guards, so this is going to be worth it. If I can get this, yeah, look at that. It's all cons guards. Like the whole page. Cons guards and whatnot killed there. This side is just too juicy to leave right now. And critically, I don't see bad death spam. More reinforcements are pouring in. I don't see that bad death spam, and so I feel like I have a little bit longer time here. Bounce a few more rocks off a cons guard's face, and then we'll finally get back to the main gate here. I'm starting to see just a few death, but it's not too bad. It doesn't justify me leaving this juicy situation. And of course, we don't want these cons guards getting up here in large numbers, right? These guys will be shooting arrows, they'll be wailing away with their nasty glaive, and our 2nd division will be in bad shape. So I'm loath to leave these guys, but of course you can't be in 3 spots at one time. I'm gonna have to get to the gate here. Oh shit, I got an opportunity here. These guys, he's just standing there. He just got killed right in front of me. We can throw a few more of these before we head to the gate. It's just mass murder. They're just stacked up as thick as they can be. Now they have a bunch of archers, so it's like master archer or the marksman for the Khazate. All right, well, the gate seems to be holding on, and that autonomous defense, I mentioned it earlier, on the right side seems to be impervious. And I say impervious, I have learned that if you design a defense for a keep, at least where they have ladders, the enemy simply can't get up, or at least they have an extremely difficult time getting up over the ladders and making an assault. There's no such thing as a perfect defense because the enemy, eventually they'll come up and rally and shield wall. Your units will run out of javelins. Your units will start getting injured and depleted. But look at this. I wasn't even here at the gate, and there's just a fucking trail of bodies all over the place here. These guys, without any aid, just based on the defenses that we set up, created an absolute graveyard here for the enemy. And this is, of course, something you need to develop if you want to be able to handle huge sieges like this. I'm always loath to say you guys need to do this. This is, you know, freedom. Americans love their freedom, right? That's why we won't take a vaccine. That's why we drive 80 in a school zone. These knuckleheads. Anyways, I won't get on a political rant here. But you got essentially the ability to close off your defenses and make it so it's much easier to defend because you have these autonomous defenses set up. Not saying you guys have to do this, but obviously part of the reason you guys are watching, a lot of the guys are watching, is because they want to know how to defend keeps. And after literally 100 castle defenses, I feel like I'm pretty qualified to at least offer suggestions of what you can do. Fucking asshole Consguard. I see you trying to fucking... How did that go? That went right through him. Die, motherfucker. Now, I'm attacking these archers here, but infantry's running up. I like to sally in situations like this because look at how defended we are. The other side, that left side, can't see us at all. So all those Consguards and marksmen and whatnot, they can't help at all here unless they charge over here, and we'll be ready for it. But basically, we can annihilate these guys at the gate, these 30, 40, 50 guys, with relatively minimal risk. And now, you know what? We can get enfilade fire on these guys. Fuck it. We're gonna play aggressive in this siege. I do like a siege sally here. Sally is, of course, when you come out of a castle or keep to attack the enemy out in the open. It's very risky, and if you're going to do this, you need excellent command of your units, and more importantly, you need to keep very close attention on your back, right? Just like prison, we're going to watch our backside here. We're keeping an eye out mainly for reinforcements. The enemy doesn't have any forces. Hey, I want your shield. No going back. Give me your shield. The enemy doesn't have any forces to behind us now. We've killed those guys, but reinforcements will eventually come in. Now, what I'd like to do here is get 2 archer tranches spread out. We're going to help protect them here. I've got infantry on the right, or on the left rather, and there's also skirmishers here as well. And you can see what's happening. The archers now have a beautiful circular attack on the enemy, and the enemy can't charge the ladders. If they charge the ladders, of course, they get mauled by the 2nd and 5th Division that are over there protecting that side of the keep. Now, I'm not going to attack here unless it's obviously an opportunity. We just want our infantry holding the line, absorbing arrow attacks, throwing javelins, throwing axes, and basically looking tough, right? We don't want the enemy to charge, and if they do, we will retreat. Still no reinforcements, so we're taking full advantage of this sally. Now, I would never suggest you attack this like a charge. We will attack locally here as these guys come up charging 10 at a time, but I'm not going to charge this whole mass division of Khazates because it's a huge force. We cannot overcome that through strength of arms, right? To quote the Lord of the Rings, right? We cannot win this through strength of arms. Not out here. And the reinforcements are starting to come in. But what we can do is we can set up a rear guard defense as we get inside the castle. So I'm going to move my archers back, but as I move them, I'm going to move them in a staggered manner. I've started to do this more and more, just like special forces or what they train in the military or the law enforcement. We are going to move in basically segmented divisions, and we're doing that so that one unit provides cover while the other unit moves. We've got infantry here just holding off the enemy still, but now we're going to start to move our archers back one at a time. The 5th is now positioned. We'll move the 4th up. We'll move these skirmishers up, and then we'll move our infantry back in a shield wall to hopefully absorb a lot of this enemy attack. Now I hear screaming up on the walls, and I'm starting to see death spam. I'm highly attuned to this with this many sieges under my belt, but it doesn't look like a crisis. I think there's just fighting on our right side here as I look out from the castle. All right, so we're not going to retreat right away. Look at this little square courtyard, outer courtyard. We're going to defend this, at least briefly. I've got 2 different archer tranches, a skirmisher tranche, and infantry. What do we got going on here? I hear yelling. Let's get these guys back in. I hear yelling out here. I can't tell what's going on. Makes me nervous. Okay. These guys are being destroyed. So we are going to pull our units back. Never mind on that extended siege sally. We've got to help this division out. This looks like 7, 8 very sturdy guys here trying to hold our left or our right flank. A minute ago I said they seemed fine, but clearly they're not fine. My wife is in here fighting for her life. The enemy's starting to pile up, but we've got a unit there in the square that should be able to at least slow them down as they come through the main gate. And we're going to clean up this right side here. If we get another opportunity, I will try that extended siege sally. This castle is well designed for siege sallies because of that square, narrow outer courtyard, outer, whatever you want to call it, that area right outside the gate to the left here. Get some archer crossbow on these fucks coming through the gate. Like I said, I'm going to move my units around quite a bit in this siege defense just because of the layout of the castle. Sometimes I can look at a layout and say, okay, a normal defense is not going to work here. We need to get creative. We need to use our thinking caps, and we need to use our units dynamically here. We're chopping a path through the enemy infantry, of course, this tried and true method now of forming a square with 3 units on the flank for enfilade fire fucking works, right? Again, you don't have to use this, but if you're not using this, you're a knucklehead, right? This is clearly a tactic that works. You can see our division there is holding the enemy pretty well. Guys are trickling through, and when they do, they get mauled. I just charged with these archers. These guys are going to come up foaming at the mouth. And you know what I can do here? I bet there's some... I haven't thrown any of the bombs or the rocks or whatever from this gate. As those units charge, they'll compact the enemy, I think. And I'm going to be able to... I think I'm going to be able to bomb the enemy here with rocks on their head. Yeah. Actually, there's not very many enemies out here, but nevertheless, we'll take advantage of this. We'll stone a few guys here. And that was very effective. Pull our units back, that way they don't get into the guardhouse. There's a bunch of archers outside. I don't want them charging the archers that are out there. I basically want those guys holding that line in the inner courtyard. You see the archer division over here. Fire a few of these rocks out at the archers here. Yeah, their archers are confused. They don't know how to get in. They're all lined up. It looks like they were expecting to have a big battle out there, a big fight outside the courtyard, but us running inside has blue-balled them. These guys all look highly disappointed. They're holding their bow and arrow in anticipation of our forces to shoot. Oh, shit. Well, they were ready for me there. I got hit right in the neck. But these guys here are not... We're gonna blue ball these guys. No targets for you guys. In fact, all you guys get is fucking boulders thrown onto your head from safety, right? We're gonna do this carefully. My health is already to a half. I would bet this siege is not even halfway through yet. I should start saying it more and more at the episode, you know, at the beginning of these episodes. Strap yourself in, right? These epic sieges are not like sieges probably that a lot of you have played, where it's a 10-minute or 8-minute siege. Routinely with these massive forces that we're fighting, you know, we are having half-hour, 45-minute, even hour-long sieges. We had an hour-long siege once, all with normal player damage and whatnot. Yeah, you see, these are all archers trying to come through the door. I can't wait to smoke some of these fucks in the face. Ah ha ha! The guy gets skewered. Had a subscriber who said he loves that sound. I agree. The death sounds are awesome in this game. This visceral sounds of guys getting skewered. Alright, so this side is starting to break down. So what are we going to do? We're going to support them. I'm bringing over an archer division. We're going to fly into combat here like a fucking savage barbarian and help this division out. I basically, I don't want one of these sides breaking down, because if they do, of course, the enemy will start steamrolling in massive amounts of troops. They got a bunch of guys here all lined up. Fuck you guys. Ah! Fucking hit right in the throat with an arrow. Catch some stones. Well, I didn't pick it up. I thought I had a stone there. Let's fucking chuck them right in their faces 5 feet away. Alright, we've got an archer division over here for support now. And we're going to attend to this side. Again, the main gate is clamped up pretty well. The left side, or the right side, I apologize, behind me there is kind of neglected, but I don't see massive enemy forces. In fact, here is where they're all gathering. Sometimes the enemy will pick one side and stack up against the ladders, you know, 150, 200 men thick. And that's what it appears that they're doing here. Look at these guys are running right by me while I stone their companions. Fucking dipshit. No, don't charge. Sometimes the UI gets all fucked up, even though I'm trying to place these guys in the courtyard. It keeps on wanting me to give the command to kill these units. That's not what I want. So in that situation, just have them follow you until you can either realign the positioning like you want, or you can actually just drag them there and then give them the stop command, right? F1, F6 will be more than sufficient to perform the tactic you want.
Troops, follow me!
1, 2, 3. I've got 3 archer divisions. It's time for another sally attempt. I was talking about this before. Again, a sally attempt is where you go out and attack the enemy offensively. They've got archers here in the gatehouse, so we're going to charge with infantry here, push our way through this, and try to flank the enemy outside this castle. We're going to bull our way through here. I've got a shield. It's a little tiny shield, but it's going to be sufficient. We'll put the infantry right in their face and start getting these archers spread out on the right flank as soon as it lets me. Come on, baby. There we go. These guys are paying me no attention. Very bad decision. Trying to draw his bow while he's getting chopped apart by an axe. And these archers here are fucking skewered. They have no chance. No, neither do you, dude. You're not coming up to help. It's still all elite unit, marksmen. Every single unit, it seems like, is a tier 5 unit. Like I said, we're in for a doozy here. But let's get this flank attempt on here again. We can get our archers spread out. We'll get our infantry division towards the front in a square, and then we can get skirmishers here to support as well. I don't see reinforcements, so we've got some time here. Shit. It's almost like I cursed it. As soon as I said that, reinforcements started to pour in.
Soldiers! Soldier, archers, forward! Stand apart! Soldiers! Forward! Loose formation!
I think we'll have to pull it back again before we try another extended siege sally here. What I would like to do is I would like to effectively have a mostly infantry enemy reinforcement wave, at which they have over 200 archers. It's 500 guys here. Let's start to pull back. I think what we'll try to do is get essentially a staggered archer attack and use a square, a little bit of a magic trick here to skewer the enemies, but there's just too many archers here. It's over 500 reinforcements. We're going to pull back one more time here. These sieges, these sallies rather, are very dangerous. The timing has to be correct, and the unit composition of the enemy has to be correct. If they have too many archers, if they have too many units, you just simply can't fight this, right? We're playing with like 130 guys here. If they have 600 guys or 500 like this, you're just going to suffer too serious of losses. You're better off pulling back inside, and so we're gonna come back inside again. Again, when you have a castle, you should always use the defenses of the castle, unless it's pretty obvious that your outside sally attempts are going to be highly advantageous. I don't see the opportunity quite yet. I still have some of those rocks to throw on the enemy here, so we're gonna abort this sally mission one more time here. I'm gonna try to help my guys retreat here. I always feel responsible. They're being chased after by tier 5 units left and right, and we want to make sure that the enemy doesn't overwhelm these guys as they retreat back into this castle. These archers are still working. This left side, I don't even have to think about it. There's 2 archer divisions and that strong 2nd division of skirmishers and heavy infantry guarding that side. That side is secure. I'm confident. What is this? A massive amount of reinforcements just came in. I think this is our first reinforcement wave, which is amazing. That just tells you we've been very efficient killing so far. This is we have a strong infantry division and a square. You know what we can do with this? We can flank the enemy here. Let's spread out these archers, drag this infantry to the enemy's left. It's our right. We'll position the square defensively, and then we're going to charge in with this infantry here. We're basically giving the enemy enough rope here to hang themselves. Yeah, you guys come on in. Now we charge. There's archer support here. This is mostly heavy infantry. There's a lot of shock troops on our side here. Now this is a little bit more enemies than I probably should have welcomed into the castle here. I make mistakes all the time. Guys are like, I never see you lose. Well, not only do we lose, but we fuck up sometimes too. We're human, we're experienced, but we still make mistakes, and this is too many forces. We're probably going to suffer 100, 150 losses here. We've got to get the gate secured now, so I'm sending the guys up in a square. But we at least have the composition of forces here to secure this breach. There's infantry going crazy in the courtyard, and this, of course, is a siege commander's worst nightmare, losing control of the courtyard. So obviously we're going to prioritize this. We're going to fight like crazed fucking raving lunatics. Let's get these archers spread out with a better angle. The 7th Division up there is still working. They're doing a good job. And this breach looks like it's secure. Now we just have to whittle off all these guys that are attacking the square. There's like 70, 80 enemy forces here swarming our square. Sometimes you just can't tell how many enemy forces there are. I simply thought that that was like 100, 150 infantry, and instead it was like 500. And they stormed through. And before I could, turn off the valves, so to speak, they were in the courtyard in huge numbers. But maybe 100 losses aside, we've secured the breach. Control is regained over the castle here, and a crisis is averted. Okay, there's a mess now on this left side. This left side is broken down. I see what happened. The 2nd Division was part of the reinforcement branch, so I actually stripped this left side of the defenses inadvertently. It's another mistake. It's more of a UI mistake than my own mistake. The enemy reinforcements fucking came in the division I didn't expect, or the allied reinforcements came in, and now our left side is basically defenseless. So we're going to recapture this left side. I'm not giving up any of these sides, right? We're not going to give the enemy an inch in this castle defense. We'll get an archer division down there with the... Let's see. What do we have here? I think we might just need to settle it as 1 infantry or 1 archer division. There's about 25, 30 guys in that division. I think that's going to have to be enough for now. The gate is holding. The courtyard is fucking strewn with dead bodies and fucking arms and legs and heads. It's already been a fucking grueling siege. And I still see tier 5 enemies out there getting killed. A Khazate Heavy Lancer, that's a tier 5 unit. Pirate Elite Pike. Every enemy force in this battle has been tier 5 or tier 6. This is amazing. Alright, we're going to help these guys. Now you see they have support. The archers up there on the walls behind us. That's what I was talking about. This castle has outstanding tiered defenses. So these archers down here, anytime they get attacked, they're not alone. Those archers above us here are raining down death. You want to put them in line of sight of those archers, right? So the enemy has to run basically right through the gauntlet and get mowed down here, right? Run the gauntlet, essentially. And by the way, run the gauntlet is not really a military term per se. It's not a military strategy. It has more to do actually with the corporal punishment, with capital punishment. What they would do, it was a medieval fucking execution manner. Run the gauntlet effectively was if you captured an enemy force, and you were going to execute them. Usually it was done by people enraged in the passion of war. Oh fuck, I had an infantry division charge outside, fall back. Well, I don't need my fucking email, thanks. Motherfucking Microsoft and their email popping up right in the middle of a critical moment, sabotaging my shit. Alright, we're going to get those infantry rebounded, pulled back inside. This division over here should be secure now. This archer division has upside arch support, topside support there. We'll go back to the gate. But to finish that point, so if you were enraged at your enemy after a defeat, or you captured a citadel or something like that, you would line up your troops, 2-3 men abreast on both sides and make a tunnel, and then you would force the enemy commander or whatever, the troops that you planned on executing, to run through. All your men armed with pikes and swords and clubs and shit like that. You would basically prod the enemy to run through, and they would get hacked and speared and stabbed and whatnot. And in exemplary cases, the guys who survived would be essentially released, right? They would be like, the men of men would be like, wow, you guys are badass. You know what? You guys are free. We recognize that you guys are just... usually they thought it was like an act of God if they survived. But these guys would go through this, run the gauntlet, and they would just get killed in the most savage way, stabbed by 9 guys with pikes and shit. So that's where one of those terms comes from. Again, some more archers out here. The enemy continues to have just a massive amount of archers stacked up out here, and we'll continue to rain stones on their head as long as they're dumb enough to stand there like dipshits. Catch that, motherfucker. Still tier 5 units. Marksmen left and right. Well, this battle is just crying for another sally attempt. Look at this force here. I've got like 60 archers. I have 51 guys, or 50 guys in the 2nd division, and I can pull a skirmisher division and a smaller archer division out here to try another sally attempt here. And I think based on the composition of the enemy forces here, we may attempt a longer sally. Again, these archers are trying to shove their way in. They're going to be rudely greeted by our 2nd infantry, full of shock troops and shield wall infantry. Of course, we still have tier 5 units as well, and that's part of the reasons we've only had like 100 or 150 deaths. The enemy's had 500,000 deaths, and we've had maybe we've had 200. It's not very many though. Pushing our way through their archers here. And let's try this. Let's hurry up. Let's get these archers spread out. I've got the 5th division we can put lower, and then this 2nd unit we can use as a square. And I think if the opportunity presents itself, we're going to try a little magic trick here on the enemy. Reinforcements will come in. It's a matter of time. The enemy just switched to arrows, so we want to tighten our shield wall here. These shock troops that are at the edges are vulnerable. Let's tighten it up. Here come the bolts, here come the arrows, or here are guys getting shot. And let's get archers on the enemy's flank here. This left flank down here. These guys will be vulnerable too. We can get the 6th also down here. This is very risky, but I like risky. I like fortune favors the bold. That's what we're going to be doing here. Okay, the shock troops are protected now in the 2nd division. I think a square actually makes more sense because eventually we're going to get reinforcements. And what I'm going to try here is effectively a moving square to create a magic trick, right? We are going to essentially sleight of hand. We're going to drag it across the enemy's face while they're approaching and do all kinds of savage things. Hopefully it works out like that. I'll explain it as I'm doing it more. It's hard to explain it ahead of time. And reinforcements predictably are coming in. The enemy's sort of trickling over to our shield wall here, and our archers are lighting up the enemy over there. In fact, I want to leave them there as long as I can because they're racking up the kills.
Move! Infantry! Infantry square!
All right, so it's 500 enemy forces. It's a mix of infantry and archers, and this is risky, but we do have the gate to retreat to. If we lose this castle, you can just chalk this up to experimentation, right? These siege series are not part of my main campaign, so much as that if we lose this, it doesn't really matter. These are effectively exhibitions. It's still suspenseful for me. I still want to win. I'm not just like throwing caution to the wind here, but we're going to try some shit. All right, it's magic trick time. We've got these 2 different archer divisions set at different tangents, so they'll be able to shoot the enemy at a wide area. The enemy forces are sort of streaming in. And here's what I want to do. First, we're going to magnetize the enemy infantry to our square. It's out there as bait. And then as the enemy infantry comes in, we're going to be dragging this left and right for 2 purposes. The first purpose is, of course, defense. Those infantry, as they're moving, are a little harder for the enemy to attack. The other main advantage here, and there's actually a third advantage, the other main advantage is that the enemy's being shot on the side now. The arrows are flying in here. I can fight in here and cut off arms and limbs. And now what we're going to do is we're going to drag this to the enemy's right, our left. And the reason we're going to be doing that is because we're going to be essentially cutting off the enemy's archers' view of our archers. See, their archers are starting to line up. What we want to do is effectively negate their view with their own troops. We're going to drag the enemy square, or our square, right across here from our right to our left. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it very difficult for the enemy archers to get line of sight on our archers. Then what they'll have is they'll have their infantry shot in the side with no ability to shoot and counter fire back because their own troops, the infantry trailing the square, will be in the way. Look at this. The square gets moved to the left, and the archers now of the enemy are standing there like dumbasses because they have nothing to shoot at. The guys here at the very edge can shoot, so we'll tuck it in a little bit more. And look at the death spam, right? We're outnumbered 3 or 4 to 1 here, and we are fucking the enemy up. Now this, we can't stay out here indefinitely. I'm kind of watching for a surge of death spam. The infantry's really starting to get aggressive here, but look at how effective this is, right? They are getting fucking skewered. And if that wasn't a 5 to 1 kill ratio, it was something approaching that. Maybe it was 4 to 1. All right. Just like the uncle with bad breath who stays too long at Thanksgiving, we're not going to overstay our welcome. We're getting back inside the Citadel. They just got more reinforcements, and so did we. Unfortunately, they're militia. God, this is a lot of weak-ass reinforcements. A bunch of guys wearing fucking blacksmith's aprons and shit like that. I'm not sure these guys are going to be able to help us hold this inner Citadel. It's what we have, though, in a castle siege like this. You're going to deal with that. You're going to have low-level troops that you have to depend on. Well, maybe that's the wrong word. That you're forced to use in this situation to try to defend the castle. God, it's weak. I think we're going to try this little inner sanctum here. I don't think this militia and that square full of fucking weak infantry and militia can handle the onslaught out there. Let's try this down here. Let's see. We'll leave the square temporarily. Let's grab these 3 archer divisions and let's drag these guys down here. All these weak-ass militia. We'll put the 7th division over there to help with crossfire as we pull back. Again, it's another rear guard action here. And we're going to use this courtyard. This is custom made. I mean, it's almost like I built this to create a fucking death zone down here. We're going to bring archers down here in a hurry, spread them out in 3 different locations, and then we'll put a square next to those stairs to defend the enemy coming down. And I don't know. I want to say impervious. There's no such thing as an impervious defense, but this is going to be savage. Of course, the guys here on the ladder are getting smoked. There's going to be even more archers down here. We're going to pile up bodies here like an absolutely destructive fucking slaughter pen. Oh shit, there's a lot of guys up here. I'm gonna join my fellas here in some combat. You can see the enemies just getting skewered as they come up the ladder here. Guys are trickling down because it's a narrow passageway. It's a narrow passageway, but that benefits us, right? The enemy has to come down that same narrow passageway behind us to attack us. Now, they will be able to shoot down at us, but if I can get archers set up on this tier here, hopefully I can get them to do that. The UI is a little screwy. Those guys will be able to shoot up. In fact, they'll be forced to shoot up because it's the only target, right? They can't shoot behind them. They'll be shooting over that wall. They'll be basically watching those upper murder holes for the enemy archers. Presumably, the enemy is going to put archers there to attack us here. If they don't, then we'll just maul infantry as they come through. Yeah, there they go. The archers are setting up beautifully on that second tier. Those guys over there, that's the militia. Those guys are the most protected, and that's vital because they're weak. And sure enough, the enemy is starting to set up on the murder holes up there, but they're going to get their asses shot to pieces. Right? Any archers that stick their head out there are going to catch 6 arrows in the face. The guys on the ladder there are being skewered. Archers are actually engaging in melee, probably because they're too close to the enemy. So we'll try to move them back just a little bit here. I've got these rocks that can add to the carnage as well. We can stone a few more of the enemy fucks. There's got to be at least 300 guys down there still on the ladder. So we can continue to stone these guys en masse. Of course, if they come up those ladders, it's just an instant death. Right now we have probably 200 archers down here in this castle area. I see them shooting at me. And I don't think they're going to be able to get up those ladders. Actually, I'm confident they're not going to get up those ladders. Some of our guys are getting shot, but we're definitely racking up a lot more kills than we're suffering. I just see green death spam continuously. Look at these guys trying to get through the door. I don't think so. Anybody comes through here, you're gonna lose an arm. I don't actually see an infantry division here. It seems like I have almost all archers, but that's fine. For this circumstance, for this situation, all archers here might even be optimal. You can still charge with archers. It's not like they're incapable of melee. But in this instance, I would rather have arrows. You could just hear it. It's just fucking 150 guys unloading on everything in sight. These guys coming up the ladder have absolutely no chance. I mean, they've got the same chance as Bernie Sanders in 2016, assassinated by the DNC, right? The Democrats and the established forces were not about to allow a fucking reformist upset their apple cart, all the corporate interests. Again, I'll stay away from politics in this divided era, but the enemy basically has the same chance of a socialist becoming a politician in this country. That is to say, 0. Yeah, look at it. As soon as they come on the stairs, they're shot. I'm kind of getting restless here. You know what we can do here? What do we have? I got the 7th, 8th. I got 6. That's the 4th, 2nd, and 6th. These guys are vulnerable. They have like 40 archers up here, but they're distracted. They're all aligned there, and so they're not able to get enfilade fire on us. Let's bring, what do we got? The 7th is 11 guys. This is perfect. I don't want to bring a lot of guys out here, but if we can get some crossfire here, we can attack these fucks. Get over there. Let's inspire a little fear in the enemy here. These are archers, almost exclusively archers, and it's in a shallow row here. We can cut their legs out from down here while our archers set up here. And this, what is it, 11 guys in this archer division should be able to start really piling in some nasty arrows on the enemy here. I can, you know what we can do here? Let's charge these guys. Charge, boys. Where are you? Get in here. All right, so I told them to hold fire and charge because this is Battanian Fianchamps and other high-ranked archers, and we outnumbered the enemy effectively on this upper stair, right? We have stronger archers and more of them. Well, they have a lot down there. All right, let's flank these guys again. The enemy is highly vulnerable to being flanked in this situation. The enemy is compacted. We're going to spread out. In fact, we'll use these rooftops here. We'll get our guys positioned there. I want them on this rooftop right here, and then I can engage the enemy down here, and we can have a little bit more terror for the enemy. The enemy at this stage is really checkmated. They can't come up the other side here. We can simply retreat these guys if they bring huge numbers here. I'm instilling fear in the enemy by chopping guys to pieces. I've got a lot of support here, so I'm going to wade in. I still got 1/5 of my health. Fuck it. These are tier 4, tier 3, and tier 4 archers mostly. There's a few tier 5. This is risky, but fuck it. I got archer support. Shoot these guys. I'm dragging them out in the open here because I want these guys vulnerable. Do your work. All right, now we can engage these guys. There's 5 guys here. There was 5 guys here. Let's charge these motherfuckers. Let's get an archer division out here and cut off this entire flank. And I'm going to charge these fucks. The sun is coming up. It's finally sunrise here. They're getting mowed down by Battanian Fianchamps. Charge. Don't let them reform.
I'll kill them all!
We won. The enemy is fleeing. Wow, that last assault there was savage. You can imagine being the enemy. You know, they're trying to get an angle on us, and they get counter-punched so hard. I don't know if maybe they got 1 kill there. They got bodies strewn everywhere. We have this inner sanctum that was totally destructive. There's bodies just stacked high on the wall there. The enemy, I think the enemy fled here so early, and I say early, was still a half-hour plus battle. I think so early because of the death ratio. I imagine we killed 8 to 10 to 1 in this battle, and you're just not gonna, the enemy's just not gonna tolerate that kind of destructive assault in real life or Bannerlord. So 3,600, yeah, almost 10 to 1, 3,600, and we lost almost exactly 10 to 1. We lost like 370. Zuvan got another 500 kills. Our companions, of course, did good work. Nobody should mistake our army for a normal army, right? We have an elite army, but we still destroyed a force of, what, almost 5,000 Khazaits. And suffered, I don't know, we suffered 30% losses. I would call this a highly successful siege defense. All right, so that's Takor Castle. Takor Castle looks like a nice respite. If you're in a campaign, I'm going to start recommending certain castles where if you must defend, that you retreat to them, especially if you're being chased by an army, for siege defense, right? And I'm hoping that these episodes both entertain but also form the foundation for a defense structure inside your head, right? If you're running around your campaign, if you're playing Sturgia or Khazate, now you know Takor Castle is highly defensible. Now, the level of the castle might matter. I'm not sure. I think the castle walls in this case, they look like they were tier 2. And it may be that the tier 3 or tier 1 castle is not as strong for defense. That is a feature of the game, right? The castle layout changes, etc. So Takor Castle, I'll have to check the walls again. Maybe I'll put a note in the description, but a highly defensible castle here. And we continue on with this epic siege series, right? Taking on all comers. We continue to maul our way through Calradia. We're using tactics here. We're having a good time. We're using some F-bombs. I'll try to throw in historical anecdotes whenever I can, friends, and generally leave you feeling entertained and educated. Hopefully I'm teaching you how to kill better. My wife teaches love and care and helping people, and I guess I'm the dark agent of the family here. Anyways, thanks again for watching, friends. I appreciate you guys. I almost said I love you guys. I love you guys, sure. Please comment and like and all that good stuff. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you, friends, next time.